The topic is order of operations. The objectives in this topic are simplify expressions by using the order of operations, evaluate an algebraic expression, and find the average of a list of numbers. So to review order of operations, this isn't new, but now that we know integers, we're going to use integers within the order of operations simplifications. First, we perform operations that are within parentheses, brackets, or other grouping symbols, such as fraction bars, starting with the innermost set. Then evaluate any expressions with exponents. Then multiply or divide in order from left to right. Finally, add or subtract in order from left to right. PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division as we come to it from left to right, addition or subtraction as we come to it in order from left to right. And a helpful hint, since we're going to be dealing with negative numbers, simplifying expressions with exponents, parentheses, will make an important difference. For instance, -5 squared with parentheses and -5 squared without parentheses do not mean the same thing. With parentheses, that means -5 times -5, which would be +25. But without parentheses, it would mean the opposite of 5 times 5, which would be the opposite of 25, -25. So only with parentheses is the entire -5 squared. Okay, let's jump into some examples. -8 times 3 over -4. We're going to go ahead and multiply on top the -8 times the +3 to give ourselves -24. Then -24 divided by -4 would be +6. 24 plus 19 plus in parentheses -3 squared. Taking care of that exponent, squaring that -3. -3 times -3 is +9. Then it's all addition. So let's add. It says from right to left, but we're going from left to right as we should. 24 plus 19 is 43. 43 plus 9 is 52. If we were adding a column of numbers, we would work from right to left using place values. But when we're doing order of operations, we add the values themselves from left to right. Simplify 4 times in parentheses 5 minus 2 plus 4 squared. We're going to work inside the parentheses first. 5 minus 2 is 3. So 4 times 3 plus 4 squared. Then we'll take care of the exponent. 4 squared is 16. We have multiplication. We have addition. Multiplication has to come first. 4 times 3 is 12. And then finally, 12 plus 16 is 28. There's some negatives in this one. -5 squared, no parentheses, plus -7 squared with parentheses, minus 1 cubed, no parentheses. Well, for the cubes, it doesn't matter whether we have parentheses or not. For the squares, it definitely does. So -5 squared without parentheses would be -25, plus -7 squared with parentheses would be +49, minus 1 cubed, 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Left to right, -25 plus 49 is +24. And then 24 minus 1 gives us +23. This one has a square root sign. What is a square root? Well, a square root is a number that when we multiply it by itself, it gives us what's underneath the square root. So what times itself is 49? What do we know from our times tables that times itself is 49? That would be 7. So we can simplify that radical 49, that square root of 49, to 7. We could also work inside the parentheses. 6 minus 9 is -3. We have multiplication, we have addition, we have subtraction. Order of operations says multiplication comes first. So 4 times -3 is -12. Now it's all addition and subtraction, so we go from left to right. -12 plus -6 is -18. -18 minus 7 gives us -25. Next up, -3 times square brackets, -5 plus 2 times parentheses, -4 plus 5, close parentheses, close square brackets, -6. So we have grouping symbols within grouping symbols, parentheses inside of square brackets. We go to the innermost set. So we start with inside the parentheses, we start with that -4 plus 5. And -4 plus 5 is +1. Now the grouping symbols we have are just the square brackets. We work inside of that. We have -5 plus 2 times 1. We have addition. We have multiplication. Order of operations says multiplication comes first. So 2 times 1 is 2. All that we have left in the square brackets now is -5 plus 2. -5 plus 2 is -3. We can change those square brackets to parentheses at any time. We have multiplication. We have subtraction. Multiplication comes first. -3 times -3 is +9. +9 minus 6 is +3. Evaluate. 9x squared plus 12 for x equals -3. Notice that it's the entire x that is squared. X is a -3, so it's going to be the entire -3 that's squared. So when we make our replacement, we have to be sure to use parentheses, because the entire -3 has to be squared just like the entire x was squared. -3 squared is +9. We have multiplication, we have addition. Multiplication would come first. 9 times 9 is 81. 81 times 12, 81 plus 12 is 93. This graph shows some monthly normal temperatures for a city in Alaska. Use this graph to find the average of the temperatures for the months January through May. Recall, to find an average, we add up the values and we divide by the number of values. Add them up and divide by how many there are. We are looking for January through May. We can ignore October, November, and December. We're just looking here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values. We're going to add them up and we're going to divide by 5. -14 plus -16 plus -14 plus -1 plus 20. Divide by 5. -14 plus -16 is -30. Plus -14 would be -44. Plus -1 would be -45. Plus 20 brings us up to negative 25. And then negative 25 divided by 5 is negative 5. So the average of the temperatures from January through May is negative 5 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's it for this topic.